tell where we find our peace. I said what I said, false reality, our sweet release. Together we rise, there's power in our voice. Sisters in strength, united we rejoice. Let's breathe in power, lift each other. In this sacred space, we are one another. Let us breathe in God, teach each other. In this sacred space, we are one another. Do-do-do. 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 Do-do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Do-do-do.
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, cool. So, happy Wednesday, y'all. Welcome back. We are big back, okay? And it is so nice to see you all. Scorpio Mama, Miss Alice, Disrupt and Discuss, and I believe Miss Wanda is in here. Um, hey, y'all. Have y'all missed us? Okay. Um, yeah. So today's topic is are you woke? Okay. So we are going to um do something a little different, because I know a lot of y'all are not only, black women, but y'all are intelligent and educated black women. And yes, Scorpio Mama, big back, okay. Um, this topic, uh, sis, came up with, and I think it, will be educational for me, of course, informative for the public, and, another way to build sisterhood in the Black community, okay, and to keep us aware and have us, looking out for each other, and, just another way to come together and do something positive and productive, okay? So I hope y'all are ready for the show. I'm gonna say it again. We've missed y'all. I know I've missed y'all. Okay. I like cutting up and stuff, but y'all are fun. So, but yeah. So, sis.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the show. Like Vaughn said, I'm so glad we're back and welcome back to you guys. And I'm really thankful and grateful to be able to speak again. So, baby, I'm back. And so, like Vaughn said, This is still an empowerment. I feel like it's empowerment, but it's going to become the show today is going to be empowerment and informational for everyone, right? And we were gonna start. We were gonna do a different type of show, the normal scheduled programming. But I just thought this was very important also, because I don't know if everybody is aware of what's going on, with us and with the state that the country is in, right? And so I just thought that this would be very educational for everyone to see and to try to give us a little deeper understanding of why people are acting like they're acting today and what's motivating these people to believe in what they're what where they're getting their beliefs from. And so we all think that is, I especially, I don't know about you guys, but I thought it was one thing. And once I came across this video, I kind of started understanding a little bit better by and by. And hopefully you would get the same sentiment that I'm getting to that from the show that we get today. And so we're going to let Vaughn speak to everybody in the chat. I'll go ahead and highlight your names and then we'll get started with the show. Vaughn, you see the highlights?
Yeah, I already said hi to
Oh,
everybody.
okay. So you're not gonna just okay. Well, I normally like to address the chat, one by one, just to let everybody know, I think people like to do.
Hey, I don't think I said hi to Lady T Bug. Hi, Lady T
Okay,
Bug.
so
Yeah, I said
oh,
hi to
you already
everybody
said
else.
hi to everybody else on the chat. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you weren't
I
listening.
was listening. I'm over here running this board too, trying to get us on here right, and I still don't like the way it looks, but hey, it is what it is. I'll change it up once we get our video up. And so Alice has asked everybody to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done that. And so I just want to say hello to everybody, to Alice, Disrupt and Discuss, Lady T Bug, and Scorpio Mama. And thank you, ladies, for joining us. And I hope you guys are having a great Wednesday. And hey, to you, Get It Together Wellness. I see you. I see you're here also. And so I just like to try to I like to highlight it, the show, because when I put your names on here, when someone do the replay, then they'll know who was in the show. And so maybe if they see that you were in the show, then they may be like, okay, well, it may be an okay show. Then let me go ahead and see what these ladies are talking about. But let me bring the video up, and I've already kind of given you a little background on what's going on and what the show will be about today. So let me just cue this mug up and then we'll get started. So give me one moment and let me share my screen here. And then, and give me another second too, because I'm gonna change this screen up and I'm gonna see if it's gonna get on the screen the way that I want it to. I want to see how it's gonna look. I don't like that. So let's go this route.
Mm.
You say, yeah, I don't like the way that's looking. So let's go this route with it. And how they look to you, Vaughn? They look okay like that, you think? Putting us on the
Yeah.
okay. Okay, so let's just go ahead. Now this lady, her name is Stephen Miller, and I want to say shout out to Stephen Miller, and we want to go ahead and give her recognition for using her content. And she's a YouTuber on. She's a content creator on YouTube, and she's a former white supremacist, and she's going to respond to Stephen Miller. And Stephen Miller is speaking at Charlie Kirk's memorial. So what she's doing is she's going to give us some background of why the white supremacists think like they think. And like I said, I thought that they was just being, just kind of discriminating against black people and people of color. But it goes a little bit deeper than that. So I'm gonna go ahead and start her video up, and then I'm gonna have to stop it, and me and Vaughn will do a little commentary on it because that's the way YouTube want us to do. It's not that we want to interrupt her so much, but we have to do that uh, in order to follow the YouTube guidelines. And so, mods, would you please watch the chat because we may have some trolls coming in because we already know once we start talking about the things that we're going to be talking about, we know the trolls are coming. So, guys, so our moderators, please make sure that you watch the chat for us and take the trolls out. Hey, Shelly C, thank you for joining us this evening. Happy Wednesday, ma'am, and I'm glad to see you here. So, I'm gonna go ahead and get her started, get Sharon started here.
I'm Jenny Gage, and this is Life Take Two.
My bad. Her name is Jenny, not Sharon. I don't know where I'm getting this Sharon mess from, but her name is Jenny. And you guys can subscribe to her channel too if you like what she's saying. And I actually subscribe to her channel because I subscribe because I want to learn from her. Okay.
I've been sitting at my desk writing out a script as a response to the Stephen Miller part of Charlie Kirk's memorial, and I have been bawling my eyes out. And here's what I was thinking. I would rather pause right now, throw away the entire script, and give you just my raw response than sit here and make something sound perfect. I haven't even had a shower yet. I went for my jog this morning with Kevin, and we're just going to do this. If you're new to me, I am a former white supremacist, Christian nationalist, big time MAGA follower, Trump supporter. I left the Mormon church, my all right religious community, and gradually deconstructed all of that just recently. I just left MAGA 2 years ago. I left the Mormon church 7 years ago, left Christianity about the same time that I left MAGA. And I've saved this video. I've saved watching this portion of the Charlie Kirk Memorial, which was here in my hometown. I am an Arizona girl. I grew up in Scottsdale, part of my life, not too far away from the Franz family, although Eric is much younger than me, so we never crossed paths. I haven't watched this video. I've watched other portions of the funeral, and the first time I watched it was just half an hour ago when I began to script about it. So let's dive into this. I hope not just to give you a response, but to translate what he's saying, because I think there's so much that only a former white supremacist can see.
The angels wept, but those tears have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend or understand.
So right there is a former cult member and somebody who was part of the alt-right and hardcore Christian nationalist. Every cult has an in-group and an out-group. You have to have a leader. You have to have a purpose. You have to have the pure genetic pool or the pure membership. Purity is everything. And from the very get-go here, he's talking about angels. So he's sanctifying everything that he's going to say here. We speak for God. The angels are behind us. And our enemies, that's the out-group. This is terrifying in the first 8 seconds here.
When I
Notice the first thing that she said. She called Stephen Miller a cult. She called him a cult group. Said that he's in a cult group. So right away, she's identifying what the white supremacists are representing these days. I've heard it on the news, and I know you've heard it also around social media sites or what have you, or just in your own mind. I've always just looked at them as white supremacists, but now she's saying that they're in a cult also. Okay. And so to me, it's going to take a lot of decleansing. I feel like a lot of these people are going to have to go to therapy in order to get out this cult, because once you're in a cult, it's very hard to let that go, to reprogram your mind. And so I don't know if everybody's going to be able to be reprogrammed or not. But this is one of the reasons why we're seeing some of the things that we're seeing that's happening around America right now, because she just identified this. These people are actually in a cult. And so, Von, what do you think about them being in a cult? What do you think about her saying that they're being in a cult? Do you agree with her, or do you just feel like that they'll just that these people are just white supremacists?
Mm, I actually always kind of had a theory that all white people um, like behind closed doors, be like coming up with secret missions and stuff to take us down.
Hmm.
So she's just confirming some of the,
Some of the
rational,
thoughts.
irrational, rational I thoughts and ideas that I've had.
Hmm.
So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, wow.
Well, prior to Agent Orange getting in office, I didn't look at them as a cult. I only looked at them as being, part of a group per se, right? Like different sectors, like KKK or white supremacists or the Proud Boys. I always looked at them as being in an organization. But when Agent
Mm-hmm.
Orange came into office, and I call Trump Agent Orange, guys. That's just my code word for him, so I don't have to say his name. But I always looked at them as being in organization, different type of organizations, and different factions of it. And so I didn't really look at them as a cult until he got in office. And then that's when the light bulb kind of came on for me, because it's like they all came together, all the different organizations that spew a lot of the hate in America. In my opinion, they all just
Mm-hmm.
kind of came together and formed this one cult. And that's what she's explaining.
Mm-hmm.
I see Erica and her strength and her courage. I'm reminded of a famous expression. The storm whispers to the warrior that you cannot withstand my strength. And the warrior whispers back, I am the storm.
I used to love that quote, and I actually had that on my Facebook profile for a long time. And I had this feeling of, I am the storm. And there's a little word in there that a lot of people might have missed, and it's just the word warrior. As a white supremacist, I literally believed that I was this warrior. I was the warrior for civilization. I was the warrior for God. I was the warrior for truth. I was the warrior battling for traditional family and everything that civilization was based on. So that little word there is not insignificant.
Erica is the storm. We are the storm. And our enemies cannot comprehend
Storm troopers, anybody?
our
Mm.
strength, our determination, our resolve, our passion. Our lineage and our legacy hails back to Athens, to Rome, to Philadelphia, to Monticello. Our ancestors built the cities. They produced the art and architecture. They built the industry. Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors.
Okay, there's that word warrior again. You guys, if you were never white supremacists, you do not understand how terrifying that little bit of this already was. So, white supremacy isn't necessarily about hating brown people. It's not about hating African Americans or the indigenous populations of America, First Nations in New Zealand or Australia, people in India, wherever. It's not about hating them. White supremacy is the belief that white people are chosen. Now, a lot of this is based on biblical mythology. It's based on Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, and the belief that Cain murdered his brother Abel, so he was cursed with brown skin. That was then carried throughout the flood with Ham. Ham was supposed to have been the father of Egypt and Africa after the ark landed wherever it landed. That was what I was taught in church. A lot of my Christian friends, a lot of early colonists believed that concept, that the curse of Cain was why people from Africa were brown skinned. And white supremacy to me was just, I am that pure lineage straight from Adam and Eve. I remember my granddad saying that there were only approximately 250 generations from Adam and Eve to me. That's, just averaging 25 years or something per human generation span. I don't know exactly what his math figure was to get that, and accounting for we've already lived through 6,000 years of Earth history is the biblical teaching. So from Adam and Eve to me was about 250 generations. I literally believed that my pure bloodline went back to Adam and Eve. Adam was handmade by God. God formed him out of the dust. And in the Bible, when it says that God made Adam in his image, to me as a Christian and a believer in the Bible, literally, that Adam and Eve was literal, that Heavenly Father was literal. I believed that God was white. I believed that Jesus was white. And so when they made man in his image, then they made a white man. In the Mormon temple, I would watch videos that showed Adam and Eve in the garden, and Eve had long blonde hair just like me. She looked like Erica Kirk in a little like suede dress that looked like something a Navajo would have worn. And Adam was white as white could be, and he had a little like barbershop haircut in the Mormon video of Adam and Eve. I always pictured Adam and Eve being white, just like me. And I believed that I was literally descended from them. So this is the core of white supremacy, the belief that God made Adam and Eve perfect. And then the belief that all good things in the world came through white Aryan lineage. This is the Third Reich. This is Nazism. He's not even hiding it. But I think that it's hidden inside because a lot of people don't understand. So this belief that whites were so superior, that they were different than people, is what allowed early Christians in America
Sis,
to
can
own
you
other
pause
human
it?
beings.
Yeah, I know you. I know you're reeling.
No. Because okay, so now because I got questions.
Right.
The Bible that I have, right, is
Mm-hmm.
the same Bible that they, because I know the Catholic Bible is different than the Bible that I have, right?
Right.
Right? Okay. So they have the same Bible that are in Baptist church, what is it? The Pentecostal, Kojic, you know. Okay, my question is, were they reading, or was this just an assumption? Like, or is there a Bible out here that I don't know about that says, that Jesus had straight hair and he had skin that was lily white or something? Because I'm confused. Because I can hear her. I can hear her saying that's what she believed. But it's like, who was teaching y'all that if y'all was reading out the Bible? You following me?
I'm following you, but I'm gonna say this:
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people, not only the cult or the supremacists or whoever, a lot of people pick and choose what they want out of the Bible. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
under the impression that they never read Revelations, because that's Revelations describe Jesus. It said his,
Right.
yeah, it describes the image of Jesus. So I'm pretty sure that they didn't even choose that part. And you got to understand, the Mormons got their own Bible. They don't have the same Bible that we have. And I
Okay.
and
So okay. Go
yeah, they
ahead.
got the Book of Mormon Bible. And I remember when I was married to my ex-husband, who's a preacher. Somebody, they're kind of like the Jehovah Witnesses, right? They kind of like pass out their literature or pass out their books or
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And some kind of way I stumble upon one, and I took
Mm-hmm.
it to his father, and his father was a preacher also. And I read a few passages in that Bible, and I started asking him questions
Mm-hmm.
about the Mormon religion. And he got furious, and he was like, throw that in the trash. Don't you believe nothing out of that? That is not the real Bible. We study from the King James version of the Bible. And that's
Mm-hmm.
another thing. You got the NIV version,
Mm-hmm.
you got the King James version. You even got different factions of the virgin of the Bible that we actually study. And I
Mm-hmm.
never understood why we had so many different factions of the Bible, but this
Mm-hmm.
explains why. It's because um, people want to believe what they want to believe. So it's a man that wrote the Mormon Bible. I think he wrote it like in the 1950s or something like that. Or I hope I'm not getting him mixed up with Scientology, because I know Scientology haven't been around that long either. But the Mormons
Mm-hmm.
wrote their own Bible. They're not following the same Bible that you read. They're not reading the same things that you're reading.
Okay.
But this is very scary to know that you being indoctrinated, that they're indoctrinating their kids in this mess. and they're trying to rewrite history. It kind of reminds me of the slavery days,
Hmm.
because you know the
Sis,
Caucasian people.
the Mormon Bible was written in 1830.
It was written in 1830. Okay, so
Hmm.
that was the Scientology Bible that was written like in the 50s or the 40s or something like that. Early let's put it like this: it was written in the 1900s.
Hmm.
But they're not studying the same Bible that you're studying. So
Okay.
that's why they're able to teach these different teachings, and
Hmm.
that's why they're able to believe their own false. I say false prophecy and false
Okay. Okay.
narratives of the Bible.
So now
And
that we've cleared that part up,
mhm,
now I understand, because she was saying she believed, and I'm like, yo, nobody, told you to open up, but they have a different Bible
mhm,
that, I'm gonna be honest, y'all. I want to read this because I want to know what their book says, because all of this pure bloodline. I've only heard of those things when like when we were doing research on what happened with the in the Holocaust. I've
mhm,
only heard Hitler, and you call them Proud Boys, but the skinheads,
mhm.
people like them, say stuff like that. So now that I know that this is like in a book
Yeah,
somewhere,
yeah.
I want to know what they teaching these folks. Cause what? Nah,
Well, like I said, different religions have, sometimes in the different religions, especially the Mormons, they have their own teaching. They have their own Bible. Uh, and it's just like the Buddhists have their own fact. Everybody got their own religion and what they believe in and their own books of how they're teaching. But the scary part of this is they're trying to change the narrative, and they're trying to change even the lineage of Jesus. She said, because, did you hear what she said? She said, because Cain unalived Abel,
right.
he turned dark. That he got cursed and turned dark, and that's where the black people came from. Can you so that means, to think about that, just think about that. So that means you got two brothers, one is dark skin, one is black, and one is white in their teaching. Now, how, that's crazy to believe in my mind, just to
But
even try to picture
sis,
something like that.
this I'm okay. So a couple years ago, my cousin, because me and my cousin are the same complexion, and we
Mm-hmm.
talk a lot about colorism. And she was saying that even the Bible says that black is evil. And I'm like, where?
Mm-mm.
I've never heard that. Now, once again, okay, I was underneath the impression that Mormons were a different kind of Christian, right? Is y'all listening to me? I was under, because keep in mind I went to school with Muslims, Mormons, like one of my really good friends, and I had no idea, is what I'm saying. Okay.
Right.
That I just thought, oh, they wear skirts and don't cut their hair. I guess you can say I just, kind of understood, the different lifestyle, but I didn't know how, I'm gonna say maybe the book part of it, the intellectual part of it, right? Or there we go, the doctrine, right?
Mm-hmm.
So now it's making sense why when people say, oh, the Bible says, or even whatever my cousin was researching or who she was talking to, she wasn't talking about the Bible that I have, because I haven't read that black is, but I did hear about the fallen angels and black people are supposed to be fall. I've heard this stuff. I just didn't know where it was coming from. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now, like, of course, I knew about the Quran and what is the Jewish Bible called? The what is the Jewish Bible called, sis? The
I don't know.
Torah, okay?
I don't
It's
know
the
what the
Torah.
Jewish Bible was called. Yeah.
Because it's called the Torah, but in school they taught us about the main three, which is Christianity, Judaism, and
Mm-hmm.
Islam, I believe,
Islam.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I know about them. Once again, I thought a Mormon, Kojic, Pentecostal, Baptist, Lutheran, Methodist. I thought all of those people were the same, but I was just a Baptist and they were Methodist or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that here are the main the whatever Bibles. I'm thinking there's only three Bibles in the world, which is the Torah, the Quran, and the Holy Bible. A couple years ago, I learned that there was a Catholic Bible because the lady I worked with was Catholic, and she always brought her Bible to work. And I'm like, um, why your Bible look like that? And she said, this is the Catholic Bible. So when I said, this was going to be educational for me, I'm really up. You just told me something about this Mormon Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And the fact that they believe that Cain turned dark because of killing his brother, that's not what my Bible says at all. It says he was cursed or whatever, everywhere he went, people tried to kill him for a while.
But they
But,
feel like that is the curse, though. That's the curse that he got. They feel like, and that's what they're
mhm.
trying to say. He was cursed, and and he was cursed with his skin turning dark, and that's where the black people came from.
Yeah, mine don't say that. That's why I'm like, what? Okay. But
But
I'm listening.
when they talk about the evangelists, support the evangelicals. These are the evangelicals. These are the people that we're talking about. White Christian nationalists. This is who these people are. And so I
Hmm.
just that's why come out. I thought this was a very important video to display and to do this show today, so that we can
Hmm.
get an understanding of where these people, why these people thinking like this. Why are they allowing Agent Orange to get away with what he does, and why it's okay if you're supposed to be a follower of Christ? Why is it okay for you to allow this man to treat the people the way that he does? And why are you not holding him accountable? Because we know, us as Christians or followers of Christ, we all know that we should have discernment for each other. We should all forgive each other, and we all know God teaches love and not hate. And we know that what's going on in America now, it's a lot of hate being spewed into the atmosphere, and a lot of dissension, and that's totally opposite of what Jesus wants us to do in God, and what we've been taught as far as Christians go.
That's what chattel slavery was based on. It was based on the belief that African Americans were less than, that they were genetically different. And I believed that they were almost like a totally different species, that because that lineage had been separated for so many years, that we had evolved differently than them. And part of that was because my lineage, like I was descended from Adam and Eve, and then the tribes of Israel and the chosen people. I had descended from the chosen people. I believed that. I believed that from Adam and Eve to me, everything had been revealed through God to his chosen people. And the fact that I was born white meant that I was part of this long race of people that God had instructed. And part of that chosenness is that revelation from God. It's God directly teaching people. Like, I believe that God shared his light and knowledge with every inventor. So the first person that had fire, that was Heavenly Father touching his mind and showing him how to start a fire, literally teaching and instructing him. Like Adam received instructions in the Garden of Eden. I believed that, like, algebra and the written language and everything came from God, that all civilization was direct revelation from God. And by default, anything that happened in the African continent, which I just didn't have the knowledge to understand how much advancement there had been on the African continent, they were less advanced because they were cut off from God. So God wasn't inspiring them with his revelation. God wasn't giving them this technological advancement because they were a cursed people. So that's why Africa was still so primitive, and they were like living in huts. And I grew up with National Geographic, where, whenever you saw photo shoots of African people, they like were half naked and painted faces and pierced noses and things like that. I believed that they had evolved over the years from Adam completely different than us, and that they had lower IQ and they weren't in any way as advanced as us. And then when he gets to the part about Erica being a warrior, again, we're tying into this Aryanism. We're tying into the strength, the enlightenment, the blessedness of the white people.
Of women who raised up families, raised up cities.
Well, hold on. I want to say something about what she just said. That you always hear Agent Orange say he have low IQ. That's where he's getting this mess from. And I wholeheartedly don't believe that Agent Orange believe in anything that has to do with church, whether it's their way of thinking or our way of thinking of church. I don't think that he care anything about religion. I think he's just an opportunist, and whatever he got to do to make himself relevant and to get his power, then that's just what he's gonna do. But have you guys ever
Mm.
this is supposed to be a memorial service. Have you ever seen a memorial service that spewed out this type of hate and spewed out even this type of language? You don't really hear Charlie Kirk's name too much. You don't really hear too much about being sorry about him being gone. You just hear Stephen Miller sitting here doing, to me, in my opinion, it sounds like a damn Klan rally instead of a memorial. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And hey, Labril and Joe, thank you guys for joining us. And SBK, how you guys doing? And hey to you, X Complicated. I see you guys coming in. And thank you for being here today.
City raised up industry, raised up civilization.
Again, this little bit about civilization. In white supremacy, there is a belief that every good civilized thing that ever happened came from white people. To the point that when archaeologists first started to penetrate the American continent and they discovered some of the ruins of the Olmecs and the Mayans and the Aztecs, they originally speculated that people from Europe must have come over to the Americas because they landed in this whole continent that was full of nothing but brown skinned people. Some of the French and English archaeologists looked around and they were like, yeah, there must have been white people that came to the Americas and taught them how to build these pyramid like structures and all of the advancements, the calendars, the mathematical systems, medicinal knowledge that they had. They could not even conceive of the fact that the populations of North and South America could have at all done any of this on their own simply because they were brown skinned. There were books and articles published by some of the early European archaeologists into North and South America where they've stated as fact that we've discovered these civilizations that are proof that Europeans must have come to the Americas. And that was foundational to my Mormon beliefs. The Book of Mormon is literally about people from Jerusalem who, by the way, I was taught would have been white, which they wouldn't have been. Kind of a little hiccup in Mormon doctrine. But I believed that the Mayans, Aztecs, every civilization that had lived on the face of the Americas was because white people from Jerusalem had come to the Americas and they brought all of that knowledge, which they had directly from God. Again, a lot of white supremacy is based on the fact that God speaks directly to his race, his chosen people, those who are descended from Adam.
Who pulled us.
Now, a lot of her teaching doesn't even make sense. It's a lot of contradictory in there, and you can tell they're not even thinking about science. Because if you think about science, the first part, the first life or bones that the archaeologists found was in Africa. And so, if Africa is full of brown people, how the heck did that become Adam and how the heck did that become Adam and Eve? And how the heck did that become white people when Africa is a continent full of brown people, brown and black people? And even in Jerusalem, those people are not white. So I don't know how they're correlating this, and I don't know how they're, apparently they're not doing any type of critical thinking, right? Because it's people of color in Jerusalem, it's people of color in Israel, it's people of color in the Palestines. Those are not white people, those are not European people. They are people of color. And even the people in the Bible, they were all from, overseas, from Jerusalem and different places like that. And none of those places were Europeans. And so at the end of the day, they're just, it's like they're just willfully being ignorant, or they're just not doing any critical thinking. Which one do you think it is, Vaughn? Are they not doing any research or anything? And science is not in here at all, in my opinion. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think about that?
Um,
Science is being totally ignored.
yeah, I like that, she, like I said, she keeps saying, I believe. And, she was saying that people over in Jerusalem, their bloodline or, skin color, whatever
Hmm.
you want to say it, wouldn't have been,
Right.
pure white because it's been said, over the last couple of years that the over in Africa, over there, in Africa and Jerusalem, all those little cities and stuff or whatever you call them over there, y'all. Um, that the sun, it's like hot. So okay, Jesus would have been dark, and the people over there had to wear this and that, and woo woo woo. So I like that she's bringing attention to that because I'm gonna be honest, y'all. When I was younger, I didn't really think Jesus had or God had any kind of color. You know what I'm saying? And it was mostly because of what Dr. King would say. And he was a preacher, and he was, saying that we could all, come together and live peaceably amongst each other. So to me, God didn't care about the color of our skin.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And there was also, it was explained to me, I believe, by my mother before I started reading the Bible for myself, that we had different languages because of the
Hmm.
Tower of Babel. So when I was I didn't really adapt to the whole Jesus is black thing until I got older, and other people were, oh, the scripture says that he looked like this and he looked like that. So to me, when people would say, oh, it's a white man's religion, once again, I didn't know these other books was out here, but to me, it was like, how? I can see people saying that because of how they treated us and how they took things out of the Bible, to, mistreat us. But it's like, now I'm over here like, well, were they reading this Bible that I have, or was they reading the Mormon Bible? Right. And I honestly believe that um, uh, Caucasian people, okay, were over there in Europe somewhere, and that they came over here to America where the Native Americans were, and they took over,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah,
Now,
that's
I know
exactly
you're
what
like,
happened.
yeah,
And they're trying to say that Christopher Columbus discovered America. And I was going to say something about that too, sis. She totally
right,
just, swept that under the rug. When she say white people came over here
yeah,
and built everything, she totally just, forgot all about the American Native
yeah,
Indians that was here before Christopher Columbus stumbled upon America.
yeah. And see, keep in mind, they, well, I don't know what y'all, well, I'm gonna say this, when I lived in Indianapolis, I didn't know a lot about mostly who they taught us about was Martin Luther King, Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X. When I moved to Chicago, I learned more about Black history because I went to a school where there were Black teachers and I'm gonna say the teachers were white, but the children were Black. Okay, and in Indianapolis, we were more mixed and stuff. So a lot of the, I'm gonna say woke stuff, or y'all sleep and we're the
Hmm.
chosen people, I learned through the internet. And before my mom got saved, she was kind of like, I guess you can say, like an
Hmm.
Israelite or something. She was more into like that spiritual stuff. So they didn't teach in school. I was, hey, Christopher Columbus discovered, and it's
Hmm.
like, no, this is what they did to us, and stuff like that. So it's like, I don't know what to think about this other than I'm glad she woke up. I mean, I don't, like that, she just like, to heck with, God or whatever, but it's like at least she knows that some of the stuff she was taught was like
Right.
a lie.
Right.
And it don't even make
Yeah,
sense to her anymore.
it turned her
You
away
know what I'm
all the
saying?
way from religion and Christianity. Now she says she's an atheist. Okay, so she don't believe in God at this point. And you're absolutely right. When you're in the South, you're not taught a lot of Black history. I didn't learn about Malcolm X. They taught us about Martin Luther King, but I didn't learn about Malcolm X until I got grown. Now, some of the Black history should, people say your parents should teach you, but if your parents don't know, how are they going to teach you something that they don't know anything about? And in the South, a lot of stuff is whitewashed,
Right.
right? And a lot of stuff is not told to us. We just learned about the basic people, like just like you were, because you're in Indiana, so that's kind of, they kind of got that southern behavior also. So they're going to whitewash and they're going to hide as much as
Right.
they can. A lot of things that black people invented, they're not going to talk about it, and this is the reason why. Remember, we're not supposed to know anything. They came over here and built everything. So of course they're not going to give us credit for the things that was invented by us. What they did was they allowed us to invent stuff, and then they stole the patent and they stole the product and patented it under their names and made it look like they did it. It's always been smoke and mirrors when it comes to their race, in my opinion. And so I'm so glad I stumbled upon this video, because she's really given us a real insight of how they're thinking, and why they think the way that they think. Now, everything she say, this is her opinion. It may not be just total factual, but it does give you a different um, view of how these people are thinking, and why they
Oh yeah.
and why they look down on us so much. You agree with that? Yeah.
Yeah, because yeah, I agree with that because it's like I thought it was just pure ignorance, and that's why I said I didn't realize this is like a doctrine. That's why I'm like, are they not reading the same, Bible as us? And it makes a whole lot more sense why it's like why they're so what
Hmm.
is it, grounded in
and,
what
and
in their
and why they
beliefs
think
because
so
it's like,
much
yo,
of
this is in a book.
themselves, and keep in mind,
Yeah.
this is being taught in their churches every Sunday. This is what a lot of their, not all of them, but this is what a lot of their pastors and preachers are teaching them. But
Mm.
let's get back to her.
Out of the caves and the darkness into the light.
That right there was such a slam, pulled us out of the caves and the darkness and into the light. Foundational to my Mormon beliefs. The Book of Mormon is literally about people from Jerusalem who, by the way, I was taught would have been white, which they wouldn't have been. Kind of a little hiccup in Mormon doctrine. But I believed that the Mayans, Aztecs, every civilization that had lived on the face of the Americas was because white people from Jerusalem had come to the Americas and they brought all of that knowledge, which they had directly from God. Again, a lot of white supremacy is based on the fact that God speaks directly to his race, his chosen people, those who are descended from Adam.
Who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light.
That right there was such a slam, pulled us out of the caves and the darkness and into the light. That doesn't sound like white supremacy to probably almost anybody listening to it, right? Like it almost sounds like he's just referencing women, like, oh, the power of Erica Kirk, the power of women. But he's literally slamming brown people. We lived in caves, the people in Africa, people through the Fertile Crescent, Middle East running around in the desert, and then white people, civilization, Europe, the Roman Empire, the British Empire. That caves is racist. This little phrase was racist. I'm going to back this up here.
Erica stands on the shoulders of thousands of years of warriors, of women who raised up families, raised up city, raised up industry, raised up civilization, who pulled us out of the caves and the darkness into the light. The light will defeat the dark. We will...
You guys, that was just white supremacist. The light will defeat the dark. The white will defeat the brown. It's just white supremacist talk. And he's saying it on a stage in front of everybody that's broadcast across the world. And the fact that he has that level of comfort saying this terrifies me.
Yeah, it terrifies me also, for him to just blatantly stand up here and just make this speech about how the light is going to defeat the dark. But just, make sure you pay attention to him, because that's what's going on. That's what this administration is trying to do. Um, like Lady T-Bug said earlier, that's why they got rid of DEI. That's why he's trying to remove all the Black history out of the museums and the Smithsonian. That's why he's getting rid of all the Smithsonian. museum, and that's why he's getting rid of all the black statues. Anything that he can get away, anything that he can wipe away that's black, that's exactly what he's doing. Over 300,000 black women have lost their jobs since this man have come into office, and so he's really just trying to make us irrelevant. And I feel like it's always been a part of the plan of Project 2025, and that's basically what we're going through. That's what 2025 is. It's about removing everybody, making them irrelevant, and just uplifting the white man, and that's basically what we're living through right now. Before I started again, Von, do you have anything you want to say about it?
It's just hard to kind of wrap my head
Mm-hmm.
around it because it's like um I don't believe that I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting a little emotional because it's like I don't think that God would do that to like anybody. You
No,
know what
he
I'm
wouldn't.
saying? Make it to where another man has dominion over us to this degree that you
Right.
know what I'm saying?
And you
Like
absolutely
because
right.
it just
God
doesn't
wouldn't
make
do
any
anything
sense.
like that. That is not. That's why I
Yeah,
say
so it's
God is
like
about love. He's not about hate. God is not about heaven. He's the
right,
Alpha and Omega, not Stephen Miller. So Stephen Miller is putting himself above
right.
man, and there's no man above in man. Everybody is the same in God's eyesight. So you are absolutely correct on that.
Yeah.
And yes, Rondo, this guy is Jewish and sitting up here spewing all this hate as if he was a Caucasian man. He's not even Caucasian. He's actually Jewish himself. Make that make sense.
Mm,
Veil over the
mm.
forces of wickedness and evil. They cannot imagine what they have awakened.
Who is they? One guy killed Charlie Kirk. There was no they. We didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Black people didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Immigrants from Mexico didn't kill Charlie Kirk. Feminists like me, atheists like me, we didn't kill Charlie Kirk.
They cannot conceive of the army that they have arisen in all of us. Because we stand for what is good, what is virtuous, what is noble. And to those trying to incite violence against us, those trying to foment hatred against us, what do you have? You have nothing. You are.
Y'all hear that? He said, "What do you have? You have
But
nothing. Y'all are just peasants beneath us, and we're coming off our
yeah,
chariot to address you guys." But listen to this man. He's
but
crazy.
sis, but sis, it's like who's the people spewing hate against y'all? Y'all are the ones doing it. That's what I'm saying. None of it makes sense. It's like constant projection. Y'all are the ones always doing something to us and bringing skin color into it and culture and all this kind of
Mhm.
stuff. It be them. Like even because it's like okay, like I was saying the other day. Okay, I understand people coming over here illegally committing crimes, but they group everybody into that. And like she just said, no black people didn't kill
Mhm.
dude, okay? Atheists didn't kill dude, okay? Somebody that didn't like him killed one person killed dude. And what's crazy is it's all y'all millions of people at this rally right now. We ain't all gathered up celebrating nowhere. Who threw a barbecue? I ain't seen it yet.
Right.
Okay? Like this is weird. And this ain't no funeral, Miss Alice. This is like this like a whole, triple can we say
A
KK
Klan rally is
rally
what
up
I
here.
called it. It ain't no memorial. Yeah,
Yeah,
this is a
that's what
total
this is.
Klan rally, and
Yeah. We will
yeah,
defeat the
yeah.
dark.
And you
What?
have
Who's who's
nothing.
after you?
That part just got me right there. Y'all have nothing. Well, we don't have anything because you took everything from us. Everything we try to get, y'all try to destroy. Anytime we try to come up, either you take us
Exactly.
out or you burn it up. Because we could
They destroyed a whole
not
city
just one
because
city,
the
baby.
black man was
Baby,
falsely
they
accused.
destroyed a
Oh, I
lot of
mean, I know
cities.
plenty. Yeah. It's like, but when have we done
No,
that to
no,
them
never,
ever? When has
never,
that ever been
never.
done?
Never. And so
This is
basically
crazy.
though, what and in my opinion, the person that they're accusing of doing this, I don't feel like he did it. to me, it was, in my opinion, I feel like it was a professional that pulled this off, and this whole event happened so that the
Yeah,
news cycle could change, so that we would be talking about Jeffrey Epstein's, and we wouldn't be worried about the economy, and we wouldn't be worried about a horrible job that this dude has been doing for the last 6 or 7 months, however long he's been in office. What is 7, 8 months now? So, don't look over here,
yeah,
look over there. And he's always trying to change the news cycle, no matter what. If you have some, if you have some negative news, and that Epstein news had been just going for like 2 or 3 weeks strong, right? And so he wanted to try to change it up. Even when they asked about it, he's like, that's old news, are you still discussing that? I can't believe y'all still worried about that. Well, yeah, we're still worried about it, because number one, you're the one who brought it up in the beginning. You the one who said when you got in office that you was going to release all of the files. Now the people are trying to hold your feet to the fire, and now you're just trying to do, you're trying to give them something else to look at. I wholeheartedly believe, and this is just my opinion, it's nothing factual, but I feel like this was a setup. And yeah, right, Lady T Bug, it's a distraction. And hey, Bank, thanks for coming in. Hey, Rando. But yeah, I feel like this is a total distraction. And you see, how this dude is spewing this hate at this. This is supposed to be a memorial. I've never seen a memorial held like this, and it's over 100,000 people listening to this dude talk like this. 100,000 people, and that's just in the arena. We're not talking about the people that's looking at it on TV and on social media and across the world. So the hate is real, the BS is real, and all of this is just projection, deflection, and also they want you to distract you from what's really going on and what they're really trying to pull off.
Are nothing.
I think it's a setup, sis.
Yeah, it could be a setup too.
It's a
So when
setup.
you say a setup,
Yeah.
setup for what? For everybody to go up to spew out in the street so that he can
Yeah,
declare martial law, because he's trying to do anything he can to get us out there
yeah,
in the streets and to piss us off to the point where we're gonna try to go out there and go fight. But once again, don't y'all go out there in the streets.
yeah,
We didn't put him in office. This is not our problem. This is their problem. They put him in office. So let
yeah.
them take him out of office. Don't you guys go? Don't you guys lift a
I
finger? Hmm?
I think this is I think this is the first um death. Like I think there's a whole setup of, oh, okay, we're gonna take this person out. We're gonna, to get everybody amped up, especially them people, because they stupid. Okay, I just gotta call it how I see it. To get them people all mad at us, and to get, and like y'all was saying, what he's doing, Agent Orange is doing to the country to get us to march or whatever, and then like you said, they'll be able to kill us all. I think it's all what is that? Is that called propaganda? No, what is it called? Fear
Yeah,
mongering.
fear mongering,
Um,
causing dissension, and
it's
in pitting people against each
yeah,
other, and that's exactly right. But it's
yeah,
backfiring
yeah.
though. It's not
That's what
working.
I
It's
think it
not
is.
working. Everybody know what he
Yeah.
does, and even some of his own people
Mhm.
understand what he's doing. And his approval rating at this point is at 37. So even it's 52%
Mm.
of the American public disapprove of what he's doing or what have you. And slowly but surely, everybody is waking up. And I don't know if you guys heard my political show or in the beginning of the year, but that's when I was on OTR with Minion and Foxy Roxy. And I stated that on that show when he first got in office. I said, no, everybody was so upset about him being in office and they was afraid of what he was going to do. And I said what I said. Said I want him to do everything that he want to do within the first 6 months while he's in office, so that the American public can see what they put in office and see who he really is. And the more he does, the more the
Mhm.
wool is being, the more people are waking up. And all of those people that voted him in thought that it was going to affect us, but in actuality it's affecting everybody. And so it's one thing that this dude can do. He
Mhm.
can he can bring out the masses, and he can make everybody be on one accord, even though Some people on the left, some people on the right, some people are in the middle, and some people are libertarians. But when he get through doing what he's trying to do, you can rest assured people are going to be running up to the voter polls. People that ain't never voted before, watch when next year comes. Those lines are going to be stretched around the corner, and they're going to be 2 and 3 blocks because they're going to try to get him. They're going to take the power. In my opinion, I feel like the power is going to be taken away from the Republicans because they're the ones who allowed him to do all of this. And hopefully they can take the Senate also. And his goose is going to be cooked if they take the Senate. Now, if the Democrats just take the House, then they can stop some of this BS that he got going on. And Hakeem Jeffries don't have to bring up the bills that he wants to be brought up. Now, but until he don't have to sign any of the bills that Hakeem Jeffries bring up because that's who will be the next Speaker of the House. And by the way, Arizona just put in another Democrat. So the House is very close right now. So they can't even afford for anybody to get sick or for anybody to pass away. And people do pass away in office. We've had that happen just last year. So people do actually this year too, because Jerry Connolly passed away, and that was on the Democrat side. But the House is very, very close now. This lady from Ukraine, that's a Republican, she says she's not going to even vote with them no more. She's going to stay a Republican, but she's going to sit this one out. We're on the verge of a government shutdown if they don't get this budget together. And the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, has sent everybody home because he can't get through what he's trying to get through as far as the budget, because Agent Orange told him don't even work with the Democrats. But that's not going to happen. In order for them to pass a budget, they're going to have to work with the Democrats. And that's what we used to do back in the day anyway. Yeah, on TV, they may say, they may complain about each other or talk about each other. But then when they got off TV, they all went in that back room and they came together. They came to a consensus on how they was going to run this country. And that's what we need to get back to and get this wannabe fascist dictator out of the office. And I'm going to go ahead and digress because I'm going down a rabbit hole at this point.
This is the supremacy part of white supremacy. And this American Christian extremism that we're seeing, which foundationally is based on white supremacy, is so terrifying because I literally believed that I was better than everybody. I literally was told from birth that I was chosen. I'll link in the description here my article on Substack entitled I Was a White Supremacist, that talks about some of the childhood indoctrination that I received, and that changed me. I would be riding around town in the back of our station wagon, and I would see Navajos in my hometown in Flagstaff, Arizona, where I spent part of my childhood, and I would think I'm better than them. Look at them, they're brown-skinned, they're Navajos, they're descendants of the Lamanites. Look at me, I'm in my nice little car with my cute little white family. I'm better than them. That supremacy, that they are nothing. Do you guys realize how horrifying this is? That a human being can stand in a stadium full of 100,000 other humans and say they are nothing about other humans and get applause. It's not just the words coming out of his mouth that alarm me. It's the millions of people across the country that are supporting this, supporting the belief that another human being is nothing. That was me for most of my life. I believed that the members of my church, the people that I saw on Sunday, those that had, gotten baptized and accepted Jesus and were doing the right things. And I grew up in a church that was racist. Black people were not allowed to go to the Mormon temple until I was in kindergarten. So I didn't have any Black people in my life. I didn't have anyone except for white people around me. The fact that this man is so comfortable saying that other human beings are nothing and that other people applaud this should terrify all of you.
You are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred.
Wow. Did you just hear what she said though? She said she didn't even know Black people, and that she was better than Black people. And really, this is the attitude that we're seeing today. And we want to we're trying to figure out why white supremacy and when is all of this going to let up? And they always want to say that Black people play the victim, but we're not playing a victim. This stuff is real, and this is what they're teaching. This is what they're teaching their children and their grandchildren. And so it's gonna go on for a long, long time. Yeah, Lady T Bug, she just explained MAGA, make America great again. In so many words, make America white again. Hey, Jay Blake, sis, thanks for joining us. Yeah, and I'm not surprised that she think like that, because that's their mindset. That's what they think. And so it's really a shame that so many people um can be misled, and so many people think this way, but and then call themselves a Christian. Hold on one second, guys. Let me add Bun back to the chat. Okay, I got you, sis. But it's a shame that so many people are thinking this, and and that they think they're superior of people, and they're no man is better than another man in God's eyesight. Um, let's see, is she back on us? You still you back with us, Vaughn?
Hmm.
We okay. Well, before I finish it up, I mean, before I let her come back on, did you want to say anything about this? Did you know that she thought she was better than you?
You're so silly. um, I mean, I figure all, people of her color think that way, honestly. If I'm look, yeah, I'm be honest, all right. I think they all think like this. All right. Another thing I want to say is I would really like to know what the other like the black people and Hispanics, like Miss Alice was saying. I want to know what they're hearing. You know what I'm saying? Because don't get me wrong, it's some stuff I hear, it'd be like, that makes sense. But I want to know how come they be missing the like I don't I just I want to know what they hear. I want to know what is it about someone saying these things that they're not catching that hey, you know, these people don't mess with you like that. That's what I really would like to know that.
Well, I know a lot of the younger people, and I'm not talking about young people. Please don't take this the wrong way if you're young. But a lot of the younger people say, and you even said it the other day, we don't look at people like that. We don't think that way. And that's fine that some people don't think that way, but it's a lot of young people that do think this way. Okay? Because you heard what she said. They being taught this in their homes. And so yes, there are a lot of Caucasian kids that like her want to get away and don't want to think this way and don't want to really live this way. But it's a lot of them that do. It's a lot of them that's drinking the orange Kool-Aid, in my opinion. And there's too many of them drinking the orange Kool-Aid. Um, like I said last week,
Hmm.
I think it was last week when I was coming back from out of town from seeing my dad. Um, they had our little loop just blocked in. I mean, we actually had a traffic jam, and we don't have traffic jams in my city because there's not that many people here. But it was actually a little traffic jam because they were all piling up at this church to go to Charlie Kirk's memorial. Okay, and so I kind of live like in what you would consider a MAGA city, because it's more MAGA people here than it is people of color here. We're the minority here, and you can rest assured this stuff is being taught um, in their churches. They wholeheartedly
Hmm.
believe all of this. And like I said, when he first got in office, they were just actually just showing their butts. They really were. Now, they were giving you mean looks. If you go into a store or whatever, they were closing the doors in your face, and some of them are still doing it. But now some of them are trying to smile and trying to look like they're friendly or whatever. And
Right.
God ain't finished with me yet, so I want y'all to keep that same energy that y'all had in January. So I'm not smiling back. I'm still mean mugging y'all just like y'all was mean mugging me in the beginning, because
I
I haven't
love it.
gotten over it yet. And I'm not finna be friendly just because now you're being affected because you thought it was just gonna affect me. So now you want to be friendly because you thought it was just gonna affect me and not you. So now
But
the chickens are coming home to roost. Yeah, the chickens are coming home to roost.
hmm
And a lot of these farmers are really waking it up, and they're beginning to see how these policies that this man is trying to implement is all about everybody being poor, and all
hmm
him and his friends staying rich, because that's really what the big picture is. That's what this is all about. It's all about power, greed, and money. and Benjamins. That's what it's always been about.
Well, I disagree, Lady T Bug. I feel like we kind of, teach our kids to turn the other cheek, you know, and not to be just as hateful as they are. So I think we're all teaching our kids, just not in the same manner. We inform our kids about Black history because I know, my grandmother helped me write my book report on Martin Luther King, but she emphasized to me, it wasn't that racism didn't exist anymore, which I kind of missed that part because like I said, in school they kind of make you think that, oh, that was way back in the day, things are different now. Hidden racism is more of the topic of conversation, if you ask me, right? But she emphasized to me, you don't get mad at them, because of how, you be nice to them. You don't pay it no mind. You know what I'm saying? Just don't mistreat people or whatever. But what I was gonna say was that you know, we laugh a lot about the coon mentality, like Django and how Samuel, was hanging on the Leo dude or whatever. But Miss Alice, I think that's what it is that the other, colored people, you know, want to fit in with them so that they can be, treated well by the other people, like back in the day. you know. Well, I'm gonna get in good with y'all because you know what I'm saying? Like that's because I was sitting up here thinking like I wonder what they're thinking, and I think a lot of people still have well, not gonna say still have, but some people develop the coon mentality because it's like you know, it's a lot of black people that like to sit up and talk about their own race. I ain't like I've even heard you know, some black people say there's black people and then there's Injas. You know, Injas act like this, you know, black people act like that. So the division, among us, some people, really want to fit in over there with them people. Because what I was thinking was when they was all at the rally together, I'm sorry, the memorial, you know, they wasn't looking at them funny. No, they weren't looking at them funny because it's like, yeah, you get it. You understand. And it's like, nah, they just want to kiss up to y'all or something. It's so weird, y'all. This is just weird to me.
Well, I think they're doing it. The people that follow this and believe in Agent Orange, I believe they're just misinformed, and I just don't think that that they have education. They're not really informing themselves all the way, and so they may be drinking the orange Kool-Aid also. And at the end of the day, a lot of people are being, he always saying that the Democrats are being paid to be paid protesters. But at the end of the day, it's really, projection again, because he's the one who's paying people to get on social media to spew lies and to spew hate and to, even the black people that be at his rally. I heard, and I don't know this for a fact, but I did hear that they were being paid just to be at his rally. He paid protesters. He's the one who pay people to do the things that he want them to do. And as far as the black homes, what I was taught that white people are not any good and don't trust them. That's what I was taught. And my parents and
Mm,
grandparents, my mom and my grandmother on both sides of my family detested white people because they had to go through Jim Crow, and
mm,
rightfully so. So when you're raised in the South and you had to drink out of a separate water fountain, and when you had to say
mm,
no, sir, and yes, sir, what do you think they're going to teach their kids? Now, I didn't have to teach my son that, my children that, but I did have to teach my son how to conduct himself in America because he is a black child and he's a black boy. I taught him and my nephews. I let them know. Number one, you got two strikes against you already. Number one, you're black, and number two, you're a black male. And for whatever reason, society is inferior and afraid of you guys. So you're gonna have to walk your walk a different way, and you're gonna have to talk your talk a different way. And they see us as being intimidating, especially if it's a big, like my son, he's a big, tall black guy. And so he's the perfect example of someone that will be targeted because of his size and because of his race. So and it's a shame that we have to give our black sons the talk before they go out there into society, how to conduct themselves so that they can survive, because that's basically what it is. You better teach them some survival skills if you want your kids to be here. This stuff is real. She's telling us what they think, how they feel about us, and how they think about us. They feel like we're not, like he said, we're nothing. We don't have anything, and we're nobody. You know, we're just peasants in their eyesight, unfortunately.
Those
Envy
tears
that
Were you gonna say something, or was that her speaking? I didn't know. I don't want to cut you off.
That was her.
Oh, that was her. Okay, so I'll go ahead and let her finish.
envy is really important because, again, that's supremacy. That's what stratification, status, and power is. He is better than us. White people are better than everybody else, and they're elevated. So envy, people in the caves, those dark people, the wicked people, we are looking up at them and we are envious. By the way, this was a huge undercurrent of Nazi propaganda. In Nazi propaganda, you would often see these blonde white people, you know, a lot of moms and families with beautiful little blonde children, and they would be standing in a wheat field with the Jewish citizens of Germany, who were often portrayed as very dark with big noses and these gray complexions, just really looking sickly, looking like they had gone through 3 months of chemotherapy, is what a lot of the Nazi propaganda portrayed Jews as looking like. And you would see them looking up at the Aryan families in the propaganda posters as though they were jealous, as though they were envious. And the propagandists always showed that elevation. They always showed the Aryan people above the Jewish people. It's despicable. It's horrible.
have been turned into fire in our hearts. And that fire burns with a righteous fury that our enemies cannot comprehend.
Righteous fury. He's invoking God. He's sanctifying hatred. Righteous fury has killed billions of people around the world. Do you know how many people have been killed in the name of God? I'm going to invoke God, and then I'm going to start a crusade, and I'm going to go into the Holy Land and kill everybody who isn't Christian. Spanish Inquisition. Obviously, not just Christianity. I'm always Christocentric because I'm a former Christian. But righteous fury is always a problem and should terrify everybody.
Those
And they always doing dog whistles. That he's doing a whole bunch of dog whistling. A lot of these words that she's explaining to us, that lets you know it's kind of like code talking. They talk in code, and like she said, you have to be a white supremacist in order to decipher what they're really saying. And so I'm gonna say this one more time. I thank this lady for doing this video because she's definitely given us a lot of insight on how they think, what the code words are, and how these people operate in America. And I and once again, this guy's a Jew. He's Jewish. So if he would have been in Nazi Germany,
Mm,
in the 1940s and 50s when they were ostracizing all the Jews, well, he would have been in a concentration camp himself. But since
mm.
he was born in the right time frame and born in America, I guess he can act like that. He's not part of the Jewish community, but he is Jewish.
I'm gonna say this. This is interesting because I think it was last year I told Jim that, like, yo, I really believe, Caucasian people have secret meetings on how to take us out. And to be hearing this with, oh, you got to be a white supremacist, to this, what? To know what they saying, they talking in code. So these random thoughts that I've had are actually true. And
Mm-hmm.
then it kind of makes me lean towards when black people were saying, oh, the Jews killed Jesus. It's like, you know, wake up, you know, woo, woo, woo. I'm not gonna lie, y'all. I'm side-eyeing everything right now in this moment. Because if this man is Jewish, right? Check it out. If he's, you know, and he's also on this bandwagon, y'all gotta remember, they was mad at Jesus because Jesus was, you know, he didn't come to change, he came to fulfill and to teach us how to love each other, you know, not kill each other, harm each other, judge each other. But this dude up here, you know, this, like, sis, this is wild because it's like now it's I'm just side on everything because y'all are confirming a lot of what people say. Oh, that's crazy talk. Don't listen to them. Woo woo woo. It's like, are we really asleep? I know that, you know, the type, you know, you weren't going in that direction with the live, but think about it. It's like, are we really asleep? You know, this man is up here preaching, spewing hate. He's using God just like they were back in the day to come at people that, you know, are doing things differently than them. People that ain't even thinking about them or bothering them. They so wrapped up in what we're doing as people of color, they can't see their own flaws. It's like history repeating itself.
Mm-hmm. And you're wrong about that. I am. That's exactly the direction that this live is going. Instead of saying are you sleep, I'm asking you, are you awake? Are you woke? Do you understand?
Okay.
So that's exactly what I meant with this title. That's why
Mm,
I came up with, when I told you last night, I
mm,
came up with this title. Are you woke? Because I want to know, just like Jay Blake said. Now I understand what it is. That's why I'm doing this live, so that we can understand and go into depth and to understand why these people are thinking the way that they're thinking and why they're doing what they're doing, so you can know how to move and navigate in America. Okay, so you can have the understanding and the education of what these people are really thinking, so that you can understand, and not just you per se, just anybody that's listening to this live, so that we can all understand what we're dealing with. And this shit is real. It's not a hoax. It's not BS. This is real, and it's being played out right in our face, right in the American public. And a lot of people that can't decipher these code words, like Lady T Bug said, us in the South, we already knew what they were talking about. I understood what he was talking about before when I heard it last week, when I heard him doing this live. When I seen him at the memorial, I knew exactly what he was talking about. But it's a lot of people who don't live in the South, who not understanding what these code words are, don't know a lot of the dog whistles. And so that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this live, so that you can understand what the dog whistles are. And yeah, Rando, it's a lot more that's hidden, way more hidden words. And Trump was out there, on the campaign trail, spewing a lot of this. He was doing the code words himself. When they call
mm,
when they calling people dogs, that's a code word. Get him out of here. Get those dogs out of here. Or he cried, he begged like a dog. Trump really have more of a mob mentality, but what we're listening to now is more of a white supremacist mentality, or the white cult is what I call it. They
mm,
think that they're Christians, and they think that they're going to heaven, and they think that they're doing the right thing because they go to church on Sunday, and this kind of mess is being taught to them on Sundays. They're being
mm.
indoctrinated in their churches, and then they go home and indoctrinate their kids with this mess. So that's the reason why I wanted to do this video.
Mm.
I thought it was very important for everybody to open their eyes up, because if you sleep, I want you to wake up.
Trying to foment hatred against us? What do you have? You have you are wickedness, you are jealousy, you are envy, you are hatred. You are nothing. You can build nothing. You can produce nothing. You can create nothing. We are the ones who build. We are the ones who create. We are the ones who lift up humanity.
Again, this is just basic white supremacy 101. This was my belief my whole entire life, that white people descended from Adam and Eve had built all of civilization, everything that had every medical advancement, every engineering advancement, everything had been built by white people. After I left the Mormon church, I'm 51 years old. It was literally like 4 years ago that I started to learn about like ancient cultures that hadn't been white people, that had actually had technology, like some of the stuff out of Egypt.
You thought you could kill Charlie Kirk? You have made him immortal. You have immortalized Charlie Kirk. And now millions will carry on his legacy.
Just a personal observation. Charlie Kirk was a very mean person. And if they're about to carry on that legacy, that also terrifies me.
And we will devote the rest of our lives to finishing the causes for which Charlie gave his last measure of devotion.
Charlie Kirk was shot while saying that trans people commit more school shootings than the average. Charlie Kirk hated transsexuals. And that was, unfortunately, the last sentence that would come out of his mouth.
You cannot defeat us. You cannot slow us. You cannot stop us. You cannot deter us.
Okay, so this is what he called rallying the troops. So basically, he's trying to get everybody riled up. He's trying to get everybody ready. And a lot of people have been saying that we're going to have a civil war in America. We're going to have, a second civil war or whatever. So I really feel like this is what him and Agent Orange trying to do. They're trying to get the people banded together. They're trying to rally the people together so that they can, so that you can pick a side. And so, look at all of the words. You're nothing. You're evil. You're hateful. And really, it's our projection. That's all what you guys are putting out there. And saying that Charlie Kirk was killed by a trans. A trans person is the biggest code word that they can use because, that's not in the Bible. It's not biblical. And so they know most Christians, in their eyesight, not most Christians, but Christians on their side, they detest gay people. They detest trans people. And so they know if they spill those two words out, that's going to get people riled up.
We can, and we have to, and we must.
We will carry Charlie and Erica in our heart every single day and fight that much harder because of what you did to us. You have no idea the dragon you have awakened.
Pause.
You have no idea how determined we will be to save this civilization.
Again, just all the references to civilization. This is just white supremacy. And
what did we do to them again?
Well, you have no idea what you've done to them because you unalive Charlie Kirk. Now it's time to unleash the masses, and that's basically what he's doing. He sounds like Hitler. He really does.
Yeah.
This really sound like a Hitler speech, in my opinion.
Wow.
So it seemed like is this triggering? Is this triggering everybody? Because like T-Bug said, pause.
It's triggering me, girl. Jesus.
Well, I don't want y'all to be triggered. I want to educate you. It may be triggering for some people, but you have to know and understand where they're coming from. We have to understand. We got to know how they're thinking so that we can know how to navigate ourselves. So we'll know how to move and we'll know what to expect and we know what it is. We can when you hear somebody else speaking like this, you'll know exactly what they are. So you just can't say, well, they're Christian. When we did that impromptu live on Friday night, and you kept saying, well, I just know he's a Christian man. And I know.
I didn't say Christian man. I hate that word now. I said he knew Jesus. Okay.
Okay.
And what I will say is, this is a lot. This is a lot. I am now no longer ignorant to why it is called a white man's religion. I can see why it's considered a white man's religion because this does not make me feel good about being called anybody's Christian. Okay, so disclaimer, everyone, I'm no longer one of them. Okay, because that this is weird. It's weird because I have my own ideas about us as black people based on things I've read in the Bible, but to hear them and it's to me it's not just about black people, it's about gays, it's about um uh white men in power. I don't really believe that they also want their women to be in power. I just feel like, they all stick together and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's just it's causing a little something, up here in my head. But this is crazy. They put this on television like this. You didn't have to pay for this or anything. Like this was on television.
Yes, this is Charlie Kirk's memorial. If you think this is horrible, you ought to listen to what Agent Orange said about it. He got up there and said that he hate his enemies. He hate the Democrats and he hate his enemies. I encourage everybody to pull up the whole memorial and listen to the whole speech. This is just one part of the speech, and this is the
Hmm.
part that Stephen Miller got up to say. But Agent Orange was up there speaking some of the same language, and it's like all the curtains are being pulled back, and everybody's just really saying their true feelings. Nothing
Hmm.
is being held back. Everybody just speaking the way that they want to speak. They're saying what they want to say. They said what they said, okay?
Hmm.
And sticking their chest out by saying when they saying it.
Mm,
So
mm, mm.
no shame at all. No shame in their game. This is what they believe. This is what they live by. This is why you see all the ICE agents going in and just, knocking women down. I seen the ICE agent just push a woman down the other day. And just because she was protesting, he didn't know, they don't even know if they're immigrants or not. But they pushed this woman down and arrested her because she was protesting. So now they don't even want you to protest now. So like I said, little by little and inch by inch, they're trying to take away freedom of speech and all of the rights that we enjoy in America. And if we're not
Mhm.
careful, they will win if we don't fight back. Okay.
Well, wait, sis. Fight back how?
Well, what we can do is when they go out there in the streets and march, we can hand them some water, but we don't need to be out there marching with them.
Okay, I
Okay.
understood. Okay, yeah.
We can help them organize, and we can tell them how to do it, and give them a snack or two or what have you.
Mhm.
But we shouldn't get out there because that's what he want us to get out there. So if
Yeah,
we
it
get
feels
out
like a
there,
death trap.
it
Yeah.
is. And if we get out there, then he can declare martial law. And once he declare martial law, it's all over with. Okay, it's all over with. So
Mm.
and what martial law mean, the military is going to be in every city and they're going to take over. So that's basically what he's trying to set up.
Mhm.
And once they get in, and that's what he's been doing with sending the National Guard into Washington and into Chicago. He didn't send them to Chicago for whatever reason, but he's for sending them to California. So those are little tests to see how it's gonna work. See how it's gonna go if I do that. So what he's doing is he's just trying to see how far he can go and how much the public is gonna put up with whatever. Okay. So that's what
Mm.
all of this is about. So just you have to stay woke and you got to pay attention.
Mm.
Again, the othering, the we, the them, the somebody else, the inner group and the outer group. There was one gunman with a possible accomplice who killed Charlie Kirk. I didn't kill Charlie Kirk. You didn't kill Charlie Kirk. None of us did. I didn't want him dead. I wanted him at some point to mature and maybe live a better life. This is despicable and diabolical.
To save the West, to save this republic.
The West and the Republic, that's code word for white people. The West is white people. the republic is white people.
Because our children are strong, and our grandchildren will be strong, and our children's children's children will be strong.
That strength comes from superiority, supremacy. It's just better genetics. It's the pure Aryan bloodline.
And what will you leave behind? Nothing. Nothing. To our enemies, you have nothing to give, you have nothing to offer, you have nothing to share, but bitterness. We have beauty, we have light, we have goodness, we have determination, we have vision, we have strength. We built the world that we inhabit now, generation by generation, and we will defend this world. We will defend goodness, we will defend light.
Okay, so he said they have beauty, they have greatness, and his children, their children's children, and their children's children. So he's looking back 3 different generations on how they want this to continue to happen. Hey, Shanice. Hey, Foxy. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, who that? Thank you for joining us today also. So basically what he's saying is they're going to keep, they're not going to die off. They're going to teach this to their children and their grandchildren and their great grandchildren. And, that they're pure and they're perfect people. And so everybody is going to stay beneath them. And so that's what this fight is about, for them to stay on top and for everybody else to stay on the bottom. Jay Blake, you said you never heard of him before. Stephen Miller, he's Trump's chief of staff, and he's been spewing hate even before Trump got in office, before Agent Orange even got in office. He used to be on Fox News all the time spewing this BS. And he worked on the Agent Orange first campaign in 2016. So he was really one of his campaign managers at the end of the day. He's the one who helped Agent Orange round up the immigrants in the first administration. Remember when he had them people in the facilities and he had them sleeping on the floor and had them sleeping under those visor-like things. I had those visor-like things for covers. For the people, for all the immigrants. So Stephen Miller really is kind of like in the background steering the ship for Trump. Okay. He's the one, whatever hateful ideology and ideas and cruelness that he can unleash in America. Well, it's all behind. This is the guy that's behind most of it. Trump got his own hateful ways, but this is the architecture of it. He's a lawyer, so he's very cunning and conniving, and he's a little bit smarter than Agent Orange. So he helped implement a lot of the policies that Agent Orange is doing, especially with a lot of these executive orders. And he's always wanted to take everybody's rights away, and he's always wanted to give the president unwavering power. He's the one who helped implement write Project 2025, and now he's trying to help Trump implement it. So that's who this guy is, Jay Blake. Really, he's a white supremacist / Nazi to me.
That's ownership, by the way. White people came up with the innovation. White people came up with all of the advancements. Civilization wouldn't exist if it wasn't for this pure lineage. And so we own this. We own America. We own everything, the technology, the electricity, the computer that I'm recording on right now. And this all belongs to white people.
We will defend virtue. You cannot terrify us. You cannot frighten us.
Virtue, that's a nod to purity. These American Christian extremists and white supremacists believe that everything about them is more pure. They eat pure food. They have pure DNA. They like more pure entertainment. They have the cloak and the mantle of the divine on them. Again, he invoked the angels at the very beginning. So that purity, that pure bloodline is supremacy. The word supremacy means I'm supreme, I'm superior, I'm better than. So he's invoking that once again, that I'm better than.
You cannot threaten us because we are on the side of goodness. We are on the side of God. And to my friend Charlie, To my brother Charlie, I know you are looking at us right now. I know you're watching Erica right now.
Okay, so this speech is 28 minutes that he got up there and spewed his hatred. It took him 23 minutes to really address Charlie Kirk, to really uh, halfway memorialize him, I guess, and acknowledge him. Okay, so that lets you know that this really not about a memorial. This is really about spewing his hatred and trying to rattle everybody up, and so that everybody can get go to take advantage of their second amendment rights, and let's get out in these streets and let's battle it out. That's basically what this is, in my opinion. That's what he's trying to do.
I know you're watching your children right now.
That word brother was important too. It's always a fraternity. We are the brothers in this cause.
And I promise you, my friend, I promise you, my brother, we will prove worthy of your sacrifice.
The word sacrifice there is really loaded. Charlie did not choose for his life to be ended. And I don't think that he would have. I don't think that he would have left his wife and his children behind. I don't think that he would have left his work and his family or anything behind. He didn't choose to do that. He was killed at an event that seemed low risk enough that he didn't even have that much security, and there weren't that many police officers present. So it was a low risk day. He didn't sacrifice himself.
We will prove worthy of your time on earth. We will make you proud. We will finish the job. We will defeat the forces of darkness and evil.
Again, the forces of darkness, yeah, some of that is satanic, some of that is biblical. So that would be sinners. That would be people living together without being married. That would be single moms. That would be people who smoke marijuana. That would certainly be anybody on the LGBTQ spectrum. That would be people who are dark, people who aren't Christians. Atheists are, darkness, evil, sinners, followers of Satan. Buddhists, Muslims, anyone who isn't Christian would fall into that category. But again, darkness is a theme, and that is a white supremacy theme. And he also means that in a racist context.
Okay, because I was just getting ready to say that. The darkness for him, in my opinion, mean black people and people of color. Okay. And so he said he's going to defeat the forces of darkness. The whole thing about it is black people are not trying to do anything to white people, right? Black people
No.
just really get up, go to work, try to mind their own business, try to go to their job and provide for their family, and possibly maybe have a little fun on the weekends if they can, or maybe take a little vacation. So it's like y'all trying to provoke us. You trying to get everybody else on your side. You trying to rattle, get them rattled up and ruffle their feathers and make them feel like everybody's against them and that it's a big war going on and a big shift going on, and none of that is going on. People are
Okay,
just
I have a
really trying to
question.
live every day, in my opinion.
Do these Christian nationalists believe in free will, or are they just religious?
It
Because
seemed like, yeah, it seemed like
they're
Vaughn.
religious, right?
I think they're religious, and I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to say that also. In America, we're supposed to have free will. Everybody should be able to do whatever they want to do, long as they follow the laws, right? The laws of the
Right,
land.
right,
But in
right.
their mindset, in their opinion, their way is the right way, and everybody else's way is just the
Okay.
everybody else going down the wrong damn path in their eyesight, in my opinion.
Because when she said single mothers,
Yeah,
okay, people that smoke marijuana, I was like, in my opinion, that's small. That is like and I'm not, because I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't care about people being gay. One of my favorite, well, yeah, one of my favorite aunts are gay. But I have several gay relatives, okay, in my family. So once again, okay, I'm gonna the Pharisee-ness that's going on here. Okay. I don't even know if that's a word, but it's like, what does a woman being a single mother and somebody smoking weed have to do with you? Uh, I understand that in, we like here in Illinois, it's legal to smoke weed. I can understand, a lot of church people or, people that believe in God, oh, you gotta get your life right, stop smoking that weed. You know what I'm saying? Of course. Oh, that was what she said. People living together and not being married. I was like, what the hell? Did they miss the free will part in the Bible? Did they miss that part? You understand what I'm saying? It's like that they must don't they didn't read Matthew, Luke, and when does the second the New Testament start? Hold on, y'all. Just because it starts in Matthew, right? Am I tripping? It's like that they I don't think they read that part. So what I want to find out is what does their book say? Because okay, so yeah, the New Testament starts in Matthew, the gospel according to Matthew. Okay, so this is when Jesus comes. Do they talk about Jesus, white nationalists, or do they just say God?
I think
I
they
said
said
white
they
nationalists. I meant Christian nationalists.
Christian
Do
nationalists. Yeah, I think they talk about Jesus too. But once again, they pick and choose what they want out of the Bible, and
but you can't do that.
they
You
follow
you can't.
they follow the Old Testament more than they follow the New Testament, because the Old Testament was really kind of ooh, they had a
Right,
lot.
but sis, you
Yeah, it
you
was kind of
can't.
hard.
But you can't. I'm gonna say this. That's not. It's not right.
Right.
It's not right because a single mother could be a widow. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Well, they're
People
not talking
smoke
about
weed,
her. They're talking about everybody that's got these baby daddies.
but sit. Let me just,
And
because
and
I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna just hush.
they feel like black people don't get married. They don't have a family. And they feel like that we just have a lot of kids and we just living off the welfare system, when statistically they have more people on welfare than we do. They commit more crimes than any other race do. They take advantage. They have all of the rights and privileges, and they don't even have to work as hard as anybody else do to get anywhere, any place that they're going. Because you heard what he said, we got everything. What do you have? Y'all have nothing. We own everything. Y'all don't own nothing. We allow y'all to own what y'all own. We allow y'all to do what y'all do. So in other words, we're above you and y'all beneath us, is basically what you know basically is what he's saying. So they don't care anything about facts. They don't care anything about what's real, and they don't even care about what the Bible say when it comes to loving everybody, having discernment for people, and to help your brothers and fellow brothers and sisters out. Because in their eyesight, we're not even in the Bible. In the slaves that was in the Bible, in their mindset, that's who we were. We're the slaves that's in the Bible.
We were the Hebrews
There you
in
go.
their mind.
In their
Okay,
mind.
so
Yeah.
I'm gonna just let you finish because I'm getting a headache. I'm not gonna lie. I'm so confused. Like I'm really confused.
What is
It's
it
not
that you're
making sense.
confused about? About why they think the way they think?
I just didn't know how deep it was. I mean, it's like, of course, I know, my history or whatever, but
Yeah.
okay, that's hearing him say all these things is truly causing me confusion because it's like, you know, I know that, white people, use the Bible, to back up all their nonsense. But
Mm-hmm.
it's like, does their Bible stop at Zechariah? Does it stop there? Because, you know, when you not Zechariah, I mean Malachi. Okay, does it once you get into Matthew is when you mind your business and live your life. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And not being a Pharisee. Once you get up in there, okay. Remember Jesus was mad at people not minding their business. Y'all remember that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm confused because he's just up there talking, and
Well,
it's
don't
like,
it's nothing to be confused about, because, like you said, he is just up there talking. And Randall say they think the Hebrews are the Jewish people, which were the slaves in the Bibles. But at the
and
end of the
then
but at the
as
end of the
I'm
day, everybody
what
is beneath them. No matter who they think
But
who is
sis,
what, everybody is beneath them.
that's not true though, because it even says in the Bible, God is no respecter of persons. And as I'm flipping through my Bible, trying to make sure I'm not tripping, okay, it opens up to Ephesians. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but
But if
that
you
which is good to these, the
if you
use of
Mormon,
edifying. He's not edifying the
but
people, sis. He's
if you Mormon and you got your own Bible, you're not reading that part of the Bible. Didn't you hear
that's what
what
I'm
she
saying.
said?
It's
Yeah, they're not reading
it
our
doesn't.
Bible. They reading their own Bible. They got their own doctrine, their own religion, their own thinking. They're not going by what the real Bible say. They're going by what their Bibles are saying and
But
what
it's
their
not.
books are
It doesn't
saying.
make sense. It
No,
doesn't make sense.
well,
So
it's
I'm
not so
gonna
much
read
that
their
it have to.
Bible so
Yeah,
I
it's.
can understand
I
what
wouldn't
they're
advise you
reading.
that. I wouldn't advise you to read that
No,
Bible because
because
yeah, you got to be careful about that. But at the end of the day,
why?
well, we can talk about that offline because we need to get through the
Oh,
video.
okay.
But at the end of the day, this is not about the Bible. See, I think you're missing the whole point. This is not about what's right and what's wrong. This is about what's white. WHITE, not RIGHT. Okay. They
Hmm.
don't care about being right. They don't care about facts. They care about being in power and they care about keeping you beneath them and they care about being in charge. Okay. And then they
But
care
in
about their
their
money
mind, sis,
and they care
eh,
about their money.
but in their mind, that's what's right. That's why it doesn't make sense to me because we all know. I'm gonna say this. Even when you say certain things out of your mouth, like thinking you being better than another person, on some, it's almost like they have no conscience, is what I'm saying. It's not making sense because how can you think it's okay to trap children in cages and snatch them out of their schools and not care what happened? What I'm saying, it's like they don't care about what happened to other people, okay, except their own color people. But it's almost like they think it can't happen to them is what I'm saying. It's it's not it's really confusing the hell out of me because there's no way you can just walk around thinking, oh, I can do this and I'm gonna get away with it. And God, it just doesn't make any sense.
But that's exactly what they're doing. They don't care about what's right, sis. They care about what's white once again. It's like I'm gonna pick and choose what I want to pick and
Ugh.
choose out the Bible, and just don't worry about the rest portion. Don't worry about the rest of it. Just get the portion that apply to me, and what would give me um, power. What would make me look powerful.
Okay.
What would make me look right, and
Hmm.
what would make me rich and what's
And
gonna.
that right there is why I want to go get their Bible because the Holy Bible speaks against all of that. Selfishness, greed, power, being idolizing certain things. Like that's why I'm saying I want to see what they're reading and see if they're truly picking and choosing out of their book. Or you know what I'm saying?
But they book is full of all of this. What they saying? This is their Bible. This is what they reading. Didn't you just hear what she said? I thought I was better than black people. I thought I was pure. I thought this. This is what they being taught. This is what their Bible is. This is what he's saying is what's in their Bible. Unfortunately.
What morals are they? Never mind. I'm gonna do.
Okay, let me just finish up because we just got a little bit more of the video and then we can wrap it up.
And we will stand every day for what is true, what is beautiful, what is good. And we will achieve victory for our children, for our families, for our civilization, and for every patriot who stands with us. God bless you. God bless Turning Point. God bless Erica. God bless the Kirk family. God bless our heroes. And God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
By the way, that was a very Nazi-like gesture at the end there. And that was a salute. I Again, if you're on the wrong side, he doesn't care about your children. He doesn't care about your grandchildren. They're not pure. They don't have strength. They don't have the lineage. They aren't capable of building civilizations. He does not recognize the contributions of the history of this planet from people who were brown skinned, from people who weren't European. That is white supremacy. This whole entire talk from beginning to end terrifies me. And I will say that he is wrong about so many things, but the one thing that he is the most wrong about is if there is a them and an us, and if they are drawing that line in the sand, which I personally would have never drawn. I've never, as a former MAGA, very recent former MAGA, former white supremacist, I've never drawn a line in the sand ever. I've never said, you can't be friends with me, you can't talk to me, you can't be part of my world, I'm fighting against you, this is a war. But if this man and his supporters are going to draw a line in the sand, then here's what you do. You push. That is the denim revolution. It is time for strategic spending. It is time for boycotts. It is time for you out there who feel like you want to make a change in this world to get your political science degrees, to get your law degrees, and run for office and build a better future for our children. It's time for us to speak up and push back against this. This is terrifying. We resist. The biggest thing that we can do to resist this is to rebuild our villages, get to know your neighbors, be friends with everybody, strengthen one another, help each other. If you have single moms in your neighborhood, help them out. Maybe they need a little bit of financial help. Maybe they could use help with the yard work once in a while. Support local businesses. Let's pull the rug out from under the billionaires and the millionaires. For all of human history, we have thrived on cooperation. Corporations are the antithesis. They are the enemy to human communities. So build back your tribe, be there for each other. One thing we can do right now is just step back and relax. These people are in power and they are strategizing how to turn the whole entire United States of America into a Christian nationalist, white supremacist New Jerusalem. The Handmaid's Tale is not only coming, it is already here. That's it. I will have a follow-up video to this later this week.
Uh-oh, my bad. So now we heard what she said. I'm sorry, I was on mute, but her name is Jenny, and the name of her channel is Life Take Two. And so if you want to follow her and follow get a more in-depth and inside look of what they're thinking, how they're moving and what's going on, she would be a great person to follow in my opinion, because she's not trying to get any notoriety. Look like she's just really telling us facts and truth of and giving us her opinion and her interpretation of of what the other side is thinking and how they're trying to indoctrinate this country. Vaughn, are you still with us? Do you have anything you want to say about that? And I think Vaughn may have stepped away because I know the kids probably out of school right now. But this has been
No, I'm still right here. And
okay. We can't hear you. Say that
what
again.
I
You
was
went
about
out.
to say was I was reading, I think her name is X Complicated comment. Um, I'm glad you put that in the chat because it may not be about the Bible for you, but hearing all of this God and light and dark, it's like triggering because they're being misled. Well, I'm gonna say they're being misled, and it does. I will, like I said, purchase this Mormon Bible because what I want to do is like really do research and understand, why they have these beliefs. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like if I would have known, some of the things that, well, I ain't gonna say some of the things. If I would have known that people's out here, talking like that, because I don't do politics, I really don't be caring. But it's like now I see why black people be so enraged, when it comes to religion. Because if you know this part of it, it will have you, side eyeing, everything and everybody. And it really will, open your eyes to what's going on out here in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. If and that was, like I said, that was one of the reasons why I wanted to do this video, so that you can get an inside view and an inside look of how they think, what they're saying, why this administration is going the route that he's going. Because for me, I'm not saying that it don't have anything to do with Christianity, because I feel like that they're just using Jesus as a smokescreen, right? Because nothing about this, what he said, has anything to do with Jesus. This is nothing that Jesus or the Bible teaches, right? Everything that he said was opposite of what's in the Bible, but they're using the Bible and Jesus, as a smokescreen. They're saying it in the name of Jesus, and that's just to indoctrinate people, because some of these people really do believe in Jesus, and some of these, the evangelicals, some of them really feel like that they're followers of Christ. Some of them feel like that they're, going down the right road, and when in actuality, like Lady T Bug said, it's all a plot against, it's us against, it's them against the world. So if you're not a Christian, then, in their eyesight, look like you don't need to be here in America, in my opinion. And so it's like we are right and everybody else is wrong, and y'all need to do what we say do, or else y'all don't need to be here. And so, um, and I feel like this is just a setup. Like I said, it's a setup to turn everybody against each other, and to have everybody fighting against each other. So whatever it is that they want to unleash, then they can do that in peace, and they can do it, and say that they're righteous, claim that they're being righteous about the decisions that they're making, and they're doing it all in the name of Jesus, because this is the way God and Jesus, want us to be as far as the country go.
Yeah, that's all blasphemy. And another thing I was gonna say was that now it also makes sense why the other day when I was like, so y'all don't believe, that at least one person really got saved, because you can get baptized in the name of the Father and the Holy Spirit, but I'm a firm believer in who is baptizing you. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
if their, Christian national, mindset is baptizing you, are they really baptizing you in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit? Or are they baptizing you in the name of the Father, the Son, and some hate? You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't hear no
Mm-hmm.
Holy Spirit up in this dude. You know what I'm
Mm-mm.
saying? It's
Mm-mm.
like I don't. It's just all making sense, and I ain't gonna lie, it didn't piss me off. To a level of I want to know what the hell is really going on in these people's minds, because I just never paid attention to that stuff anyway. It seems like it's as of lately it's just all coming my way, having a little more understanding, and I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate it. At the same time, it is absolutely triggering. You know what I'm saying? And I don't really, care about the whole black and white thing. I talk a little crazy here and there, but it's like, and then you're from down south, and people in the north, in my opinion, we have a different mindset. And I know that I'm gonna just say I see the difference, in
Mm-hmm.
mentality, especially when me and you talk, in private. You know what I'm saying? I see the
Mm-hmm.
difference, you know, and it's like, oh, this is really a thing, I mean, of course, it's really a thing, but I can understand why you're more passionate about it, given your age, but of course, where you come from, and why I'm kind of just like, ain't nobody really paying attention to that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's like they are, they're always on their job of gathering up the troops to, hate on us. And I'm not saying hate on us in a minimal way. They like to destroy us, and we need to be on our job. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yeah.
just like this is a lot. This is a lot.
Well, I didn't do the show just to try to call you out or to try to make you seem like you wrong for your thinking or any of that. I only showed this video because I want people to understand that's not from the South that this is what's going on. The plot is real, the hate is real, and the cult is real. Okay. To me, they're not evangelicals. They're in a cult and they're drinking all the orange Kool-Aid that they can take. Okay. No matter, like he said, he can go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody. He can go out on Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody dead in the streets, and he still will have people that's gonna uplift him and uphold him in his wrongness. And so that's the part that gets me. It's about anything and everything that he does is quite all right with them because they feel like that he's the orange. They call him Orange Jesus in the Congress. The Congress is actually calling him Orange Jesus. Evangelicals are calling him Orange Jesus. They feel like that he's the chosen one and that he's been ascended down from heaven to save them and to speak for them and to
Girl.
be their leader. They actually think that. And the last thing I want to say is um, this is how stupid and crazy they are. They actually all thought that it was going to be a rapture yesterday. Remember?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so people was getting ready for it all on social media. They're telling their family goodbye. And, it's like the conspiracy theories are real. It's like some people in America will fall for anything, no matter what you say. If you on the side and you think the way that they think, then no matter what is put out there, then they believe it. Some people thought it was going to be the end of the world yesterday, and it was just astounding on how many people actually thought that we were going to have a rapture yesterday. And now that's what I can't wrap my head around.
I'm laughing at Miss Allison. Many of them are calling him daddy. Yeah, I know on Facebook we was calling him T Daddy when he was giving out stimulus checks. But
Yeah.
what was I about to say? They dang, it just left me just that fast.
About the
Who's
rapture.
no, not about that.
Oh,
I was
okay.
reading somebody's comment. Um, this is just weird. Oh, they think he's, the Messiah.
Hmm.
Weird. Hush, Kiwan. Yeah, this is weird. But that's not what I was gonna say. I promise you it left me.
Hmm.
Um, they oh, it what is it the Constitution? Which one is it? Is it on the money? United we stand, divided we fall. Where is that saying? Where is that on? What is that on?
Well, that should
For
be in the
the
Bible. That should be in the Bible. But
no, I
in
don't
God,
know.
as
It's
far as the money
hold
goes,
on,
the
hold
money
on,
have the scripture in God we trust. That's what's on our money.
hold on. I'm about to find where that come because okay, so that's a used in the U.S. Okay, so that's from the Liberty Song. Okay, I don't think that's in the Bible, sis. The Liberty Song. I was saying that
What
saying
liberty song?
the song, "Sweet Land of
The
Liberty."
national anthem.
No, not that one. I'm singing it.
Oh, okay.
The song they sing. I
That
just
that's
did
that's
the.
that's the national anthem. Oh, say
No,
can
that's
we
not the
see?
national anthem. Is old. No, that's not the same song. But I was saying all that to say that motto to me has a different meaning now. Okay, because it seems like they're united. Okay, okay, and if they divide, which is like this lady up here, who then came out and said she don't believe in none of that no more, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But I was trying to figure out where it popped up in my head, but I was trying to figure out where it originally came from. And I know it's in the Liberty song, but I thought it was on some money or
No,
one of them documents
the money
that we
got in
got.
God we trust. But at the end of the
Right.
day, I know a lot of people say together we stand and divided we fall. That's just a metaphor that people say all the time. Now, where it come from, I don't really know. I would have
In the
to,
Bible in Mark, it says, "And if a house be divided against itself, the
yeah,
house cannot stand." But that's not the same as what they be saying over here in America, is what I'm saying.
right.
Ain't no, I feel like that's also code, since they want to tell us about these code words
Hmm.
for we got to stick together as white folks. we got to stay together.
Right.
We can't let them split us up, right? But
Exactly.
I mean, that's what he was pretty much saying. We can't
Yeah.
let them split us up. We better than them. We got to stick together so that we can stay in power. We can keep, spreading all these false doctrines, because if we fall apart, and now it just makes so much more sense why they are in fear of us coming together, because they really do stick together. And that's
Hmm.
one thing I can't stand about them. They only stick together because they have a common enemy. You know what I'm saying? It's like they're all brainwashed into believing we're after them.
Hmm.
But they're the ones that are after us. Y'all came over, Africa and got us. Okay. We was over there just fine. Y'all started all this. But it seems like they're in a paranoia state of, if, like a cult, like she was saying, it's us against them. We have to stick
Right.
together. We all have to, and they're all different, Republicans, libertarian, all of them different people, Jews, all of them coming together to be against black people is insane. That is a cult. They have a common enemy. And if we all just stick together and fight them, even though they ain't doing, it's like they are the troublemakers, but trying to pin it on us. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Which is called projection, and that's
Right.
basically what they do. Whatever, all every like I said a while ago, everything that he's spewed out is projection because it's actually what they do. And they want to. He said Charlie Kirk is a martyr at this point. Yeah, y'all making him a martyr, but like that lady said, Charlie Kirk spewed out a lot of hate and dissension, and he was going around trying to do it the nice way, but he was just trying to indoctrinate people into this cult here. He's the one who helped Trump get in office with the young people. Okay, he's the reason he went around to different colleges and spewed all this different hate and thoughts and beliefs that he had, trying to challenge people and trying to make them think and trying to make them think the way that he think, you know. And so I'm sorry that he's gone. I don't agree with anybody doing any crimes because of political. I think it's despicable, but it's nothing new under the sun. They used to back in the day when in politics they used to shoot each other right dead in the streets, okay, because of politics. So as far as wars, people are still having wars because of religion because they still haven't after over 2,000 years we still haven't figured out which one is the right religion when it comes to the mankind of people. So the war, that's what the fight in Palestine and Israel, they're still fighting over land and wars and religion. And so all of this stuff that they're doing, it's not nothing, anything new. It's just that it kind of died down for a while. We were all trying to get along with each other. I'm not saying that people still didn't feel the way that they felt, but it just wasn't out in public. And when Agent Orange got on the scene, he's the one who made everybody feel comfortable to come out. And you see the speech that Stephen Miller did, he felt very comfortable with doing this speech. sounding like Hitler or Mussolini or somebody. And so he's giving them the okay to feel the way that they felt and to be and to be that way in public because prior to Trump it was frowned upon. The Star Spangled Banner is the song that you were talking about. Vaughn, they giving you the answer in the chat. The one that you said, together we stand and divided we fall. That's in the Star Spangled Banner.
Mm.
But so Trump really kind of gave them permission to bring all this white supremacy mess back up. Now, I'm not saying that it actually died down, but it wasn't that popular, and now it's becoming popular again. And in actuality, he used to be a Democrat himself. Like I said, he donated to Hillary Clinton's campaign and Bill Clinton campaign. He delivered. He donated to their campaigns, and now he can't stand them. Now they're the enemy because Trump don't care about none of this. All Trump care about is his pocketbook. That's what he care about. He care about money and power and control. That's what he's about. Okay. But anyway, I did you have any final words that you want to say before we close the show out?
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Because we're kind
Oh,
of go ahead.
let no man keep you from God, okay? Because people clearly are going to be people, okay, no matter the color, you know. But like I said, I have a better understanding of why people are so against religion and any kind of religion because these people be out here crazy as hell, okay? And I agree with you, complicated. We do all have a kind of common enemy, which is light versus darkness. But it seems that the enemy has found a way to throw a curveball and have people against people. Okay. Um, Another thing I was gonna say, yeah, Miss Alice, Mr. Two Corinthians, he's definitely not the Messiah. I think that's hilarious though, that they think he is the Messiah.
Right.
Um, I don't know
Somebody
where they got that
somebody so
from.
despicable. Somebody of his character.
Right.
How in the world can he be the Messiah?
Yeah, and I can't wait because what I want to look for in their Bible is because there is I believe it's in Romans, there is Christian conduct. You know what I'm saying? There's fruits of the spirit. You know what I'm saying? There's the Ten Commandments. So I want to look for their their rules and not I want to look for their code of conduct. Okay. I want to wonder if it says Mormon conduct. I wonder if it talks about fruits of the spirit. Like, I want to see how they are reading this stuff and it only says does it only say only treat white people like this? Like, I want to see, I guess you can say play, do like a comparison. You know what I'm saying? Because it's quite interesting that you can have all this hate in your heart. And that's why I was saying it's confusing because everything that he's spewing out, the the Bible I have speaks against that. So is their Bible saying, treat black people like dogs, but treat your fellow pure bloodline, brother, whatever. Do y'all
Well,
understand what I'm
well,
saying?
she just told us that the Mormon Bible says that we're cursed.
No, I understand that part, but I want to see you didn't hear me when I said I want to see how are they supposed to behave as Mormons?
Oh,
You
how they're
understand what I'm
supposed to behave.
and
Yeah.
yeah, because
To,
in
to,
in
to,
the
to think
in
that
the
they're
King James
superior.
in the King James Bible, there's the Christian, it's called Christian conduct, right? And it literally tells you how to behave as a Christian. So in the Mormon Bible, does it specifically say, hey, y'all, this is y'all's conduct, this is how y'all supposed to act, this is y'all fruits of the spirit. I just want to see what is it. I'm gonna talk about it. You gonna see it.
Well, at the
Y'all
end of
gonna
the
see it.
day,
She said these people are teachers, lawyers, police, and doctors. Crazy.
right,
Absolutely
right,
insane.
right, right. They're professionals in America, and these are the people that's running America. And I'm sure they have a code of conduct like every religion does. But the main thing is they're the chosen ones and we're not. Okay, that's the gist
mm.
of it. We are above all. We have all, and we are all, and y'all are nothing. You heard what he said. He said we was nothing. He told us what they thought. He said we're nothing. They have everything, and we have nothing, and we are nothing. We're cursed. We're dark, um, and they are the light. Even if you look up the definition of black and white in the Bible, it tell you white is pure and good. It's got all nice things about white, and it got all things about black is bad, hatred, cursed, you know, dark, and so
I haven't read that in this Bible. I ain't came
I'm
across
not talking
nothing
about
that
the
says
Bible.
nothing
I'm
like
talking about
that.
I'm talking
Oh,
about if you look up I said the definition. If you look in the
oh,
dictionary,
okay.
yeah, look in the dictionary of look up the word black and white in the dictionary, and that ought to help enlighten you also, and that'll tell you everything that you need to know about their religion and why they call themselves white and why we call ourselves and why they call us black. Okay. Yeah, we definitely have to stay woke, Lady T Bug. And I don't even know if I want to do a follow up on this. I saw that you said that we need to do a follow up, and I don't even know if I have a stomach to stomach any more of this. I saw a lot of y'all said that
No,
y'all were.
you started this, so you definitely got to finish it. No, you're not getting away with this one.
Yeah, I don't know if I have the stomach for it though. It's gonna take a minute for me to get over this live today. But like I said, I really just wanted to inform a lot of people that's really don't knowing what's going on, and I do hope you guys share this live out to as many people as you can, or just share it out on your channels, so that we can all be woke. That's all. That's what the goal was, just to wake everybody up, just in case they're asleep, just in case people are asleep. I just want to wake us up, because I just believe a lot of this stuff, at the first of the year, I just think it's going to be a big change in America. Now, I don't prophesy anything, and I'm not what is it called, telekinetic or anything like that. I'm just looking. Yeah, I have nothing to do with none of that. And Vaughn know exactly how I feel about that kind of stuff. But what I do is I pay attention to politics, and I see how these people are moving, and I'm paying attention to the news and trying to fact check everything that I read, because now, even with the news, sometimes you got to ask Chat GPT if it's the truth or not. Okay. Right. Bank knowledge is power. And so I just want, yeah, Alice, I just want to try to wake a few people up that's been asleep. Okay. And so even if we do an update on it, we're not going to make it the whole show. I can try to do a little bit more research and try to do a little update, and see what's going on, and I'll keep you guys informed and updated of what the plan is, because you can rest assured who got their eyes on what they doing is I said what I said. I watch politics day and night. Okay. I may be on these other channels talking about buckwheat and having a little fun, but I also keep my eye on the prize also, because that's what's going to affect me. I don't know about you, but I know Alice, the blessed child of God. I know she keep her eye on the prize. I also know that Shelley C is very informed about the politics, and I know Foxy Roxy pay attention to the politics. And so I just want us to stay woke, people. Yeah, that's the best way we can set ourselves up, is to stay woke and see what they're doing, so we'll know how to navigate ourselves. But we do want to thank everybody for coming out today. Like I said, it's great being back on the Waiting to Excel channel. Um, I'm Next time we come on, I'm gonna try to see if we can set up another interview, and I got to get in contact with my next person that I want to interview. And if you want us to interview you on the Waiting to Excel channel, you can email us. Vaughn, what is our email address? Or I don't forgot it. What's the name? Do you remember our email address, or do I have it on
Waiting
this?
to exhale 30 at gmail.com.
Oh, it's 30. Okay, I want to say 91. So yeah, email us at waiting to exhale 30 at gmail.com if you want us to interview you, or if it's a topic that you want us to talk about. You guys can get in contact with us and email us, and we'll see if we can set up a show for you guys. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out, and hit that like button if you haven't hit it yet. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet, and turn on your notifications so that you'll know whenever we're going to be live. And you guys have a great rest of your evening.
Bye, y'all.